Over the past 24 hours, Maryland has suffered from a string of shooting incidents, but they do believe that they have caught the man responsible for at least a few of them. A suspect is in custody after shootings at 2 Maryland shopping centers 8 miles apart today killed 2 people and injured 2 others. Authorities have arrested federal law enforcement officer Eulalio Tordil, who's 62 years old. It was this afternoon. He is suspected of killing his estranged wife in a high school parking lot yesterday. Now, a description of what went down today. Friday's violence started around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time at the Westfield Montgomery Mall in Bethesda, where 2 males and 1 female were injured by gunshots in the parking lot. 1 male later died at the hospital. Another is in critical condition, and the female had non-life-threatening injuries. About 20 minutes after that shooting, police responded to more gunfire at a giant food supermarket at the Aspen Hill Shopping Center in Silver Spring, where a woman was fatally struck. And we believe from someone, one of the police officers who was on the scene at the mall shooting, that initially there had been some sort of confrontation between the shooter and 1 individual. 2 others had intervened to try to help out and were also hit by at least 1 bullet each. So as we said, the guy who's been caught, who we believe links these 3 shootings, although that's not guaranteed at this point, is a former employee, an employee at the Federal Protective Service. He was put on administrative duties back in March after a protective order was issued against him, Homeland Security officials told NBC News. He was later placed on administrative leave and required to surrender his government-issued weapons, badge, and credentials. Therefore, any weapons he may have used were obtained on his own.
Okay, so let's start to note the ironies in this story. He was with the Federal Protection Services, and they had to get a protective order against him, and that's before the shootings began. And so that's the thing about these guys who are unhinged, right? I'm sure that he was mad, and you could tell from the context of the story and what we know so far that his wife and family had put a protective order against him. So like all these madmen, they said, I'll show you that you don't need a protective order. I'll shoot you, right? And so thereby proving them right, unfortunately, and in this case, too late. There's a second scary part of this story. So as John explained, the way that it goes is it appears he shoots his wife on Thursday night, and then in an unrelated set of shootings, except for the fact that he's wanted and he's on the run, he has this confrontation at a mall, shoots more people, and really sad part is people came to help, and he shot the guys coming in to help. So that sucks because it makes us all scared to help others.
Yeah. Right.
And so that's a devastating effect, unfortunately, of this. And then there's a third shooting later, because he's still not caught, third shooting, and they don't believe for the moment being, and obviously these stories in the first 24 hours always change some of the facts because it's really hard to get them on the fly. But for the moment, they don't believe those 2 last shootings are related to his wife, other than the fact that he's on the run, right? And obviously unstable and unhinged.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's scary to me about this is, okay, now guys, everybody's got guns. We've talked about that a lot. Now they use them, not willy-nilly, but close. Some of them do. Not everybody does, but we live in a country of 300 million people. You don't need that many people to use them willy-nilly to cause a ton of trouble in every neck of the woods, including your neck of the woods. But now, like when the guy does the shooting and runs away, how are you going to catch him? Now he's on the loose, right? And now I feel like this is the second or third story we've done relatively recently where whether it's an active shooter, but more likely it's not even active. They go and then they just drive off and shoot someone else somewhere else. Now they're all roaming around, and now that he's got nothing left to lose, right? And he's already used his gun, he's already killed somebody. So it's not just you go in America before we had this insane thing. You go into a school, you go into a movie theater, and you got to worry somebody's got a gun and they're going to shoot you all. Now you got to worry if there was a shooting in your neck of the woods yesterday, did they catch him? If they didn't, well, then you got to avoid everybody because you don't know who has the gun and the guy's on the loose.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it reminds me of the story in Ohio with that family that was shot, right? And I think it was 8 different family members in different parts of town.
Like 3 different locations,
yeah. I mean, that smacked of some sort of issue about crime, and it looks like that there might have been some drugs involved in that. But again, everybody's got guns, so that was crime, and another one is terrorism, and this guy is mad at his wife, and the third guy's crazy, and on it goes. It's almost as if we shouldn't arm everyone in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it worth risking trying that? No country has ever just taken all the guns back. That would be crazy. Except Australia.
And there was no mass shootings afterwards.
Exactly. And look, all of that's true. Now, I guess it's admirable that both the police and then the media were able to find this pattern that, again, it could turn out was not actually, they were not all linked together, considering how many shootings happen in a state like Maryland or anywhere else in the U.S. Multiple shootings every single day. And that the police were able to track him down. It's obviously a tragedy that he was able to have 2 other incidents before they caught him. But considering that he just drove off in a place with millions and millions of people, within 24 hours, they caught him.
Yeah. Well,
it could have been much worse.
I guess credit to the police on that. And you're right, John. Most importantly, they really have a tough job in a situation like this. Because you're looking for a gunman, but everywhere in the country, it's nothing but gunmen.
Yeah.
How do you know which one is the crazy one? How do you know which one is carrying it legally or illegally when most of the places in the country have said you can just carry it around with a permit some places, without a permit in other places, hidden in some places, out in the open in some places. So it's like looking for a guy in a red sweater and you turn around and everybody's got a red sweater on. Right?
Yeah, in this case, I'm sure that it was aided tragically by the fact that the first person who was killed had that protective order. Of course, that makes him the #1 suspect, and they'll begin looking for him. Even then, it will take time to find him. They did the right thing by having him surrender his weapons. We talked earlier this week about the fact that Connecticut is expected to sign a bill saying that if you are accused of domestic abuse, you'll surrender your weapon at that point. And this is a reminder that that is not a solution to the entirety of the problem. It's just intending to stop a certain fraction of those incidents from becoming fatal.
Another disaster in America.
Another disaster involving guns.
Just don't get surprised by the next one. So it'll happen, I was going to say next week, but probably over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there will be more shootings today.
Yeah. Of course, there's countless shootings every day.
Yeah.
Now we only report it if it is
bizarre.
A certain
multiple
threshold.
Locations.
Right, multiple locations. 8 different people in one family. It's got to have a twist. Like before, you'd report on shootings, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then it became like shootings are so ordinary that you don't report on them anymore. Then it had to be a mass shooting. Now the mass shootings are so ordinary, they happen more than one a day, that it's got to have a twist.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, it's a mass shooting, but it's all one family. It's a mass shooting, but it's in 3 different places.
Oh, it's at a college campus.
It could be connected to ISIS or something like that.
Right. Okay, then we'll report on it.
Yeah.
That's the insane state of America today.